Слава Украине! Героям слава!
Украине!
Русская нация не в силах противостоять. Я надеюсь только на украинцев.
For these words, a case was opened against the Chelyabinsk streamer for incitement to terrorism. On May the 10th, the Federal Security Service officers detained a man. The Tverskoy District Court of Moscow sentenced the poet and rock musician Nikolai Dayneko to 4 years in prison allegedly for inciting hatred and calling for anti-state activities. In September last year, a man read his poems at the monument to Mayakovsky in Moscow with calls not to participate in Russia's war against Ukraine.
The accused urged in his poems to follow the rules during the mobilization, namely, do not take summons from the hands of representatives of the military registration and enlistment officers, not to sign documents on receipt of summons, and not to appear at the recruiting offices. The accomplices were repeating the work of Kamaradin aloud and raising their hands. From the report of the investigation, Current Time publication writes:
It is worth noting that this is the first case in Russia of criminal prosecution for calls not to go to the military registration and enlistment office. The security forces do not spare representatives of the media either. For example, Kirill Martynov, editor-in-chief of Novaya Gazeta Europe, was fined 30,000 rubles for not being labeled a foreign agent in his comments on Vkontakte, Russian social network. The defense asked to recognize the offense as insignificant.
It was an ironic comment on the post of a fellow student who called for Martynov to be put in prison. The post consists of 6 words. It was read by city people. There were no complaints. Accountability would be unfair and will result in a violation of the right to freedom of speech. From the message of the Telegram channel Sota.
Recall that the Russian Ministry of Justice included Martynov in the register of foreign agents in September last year. For the same reason, the lack of mocking foreign agents in social networks, a protocol was drawn up for the singer Monetochka. After the start of the full-scale Russian war, she left the country, condemned the war, and together with Noise MC gave several anti-war concerts. Here is the theater director and poetess Evgenia Berkovich, who was arrested on charges of justifying terrorism, handing over 2 letters from the pre-trial detention center.
Hello, Kututui. I hope I remembered your number correctly. Please tell everyone I didn't think such support exists at all. I live very well, and this is clearly thanks to your support. Well, I will not describe to you the life of the pre-trial detention center. You know about it yourself. It's quite good, only breast monkey weather and I'm out of cigarettes. Evgenia Berkovich, director from the text of the letter to mother Yelena Efros.
The Kremlin is also displeased with LGBTQ+ representatives. Thus, trans activist Yan Dvorkin was fined 100,000 rubles in the case of LGBT propaganda. The reason is the denunciation of guardianship officials who did not like that Yan is the guardian of a child Anton. Now, because of the administrative case, the boy can be placed in an orphanage. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Yulia Granovska, UATV News.